Today's reading will be from the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 1 through 6. It'll be page 1146 and 1147 in the Bible. Don't condemn others, and God won't condemn you. God will be as hard on you as you are on others. He will treat you exactly as you treat them. You can see the speck in your friend's eye, but you don't notice the log in your own eye. How can you say, my friend, let me take the speck out of your eye, when you don't see the log in your own eye? You're nothing but show-offs. First, take the log out of your own eye. Then you can see how to take the speck out of your friend's eye. Don't give to dogs what belongs to God. They will only turn and attack you. Don't throw pearls down in front of pigs. They will trample all over them.
We have heard many times before Jesus warning people, stop the judgment bit, please. Stop judging. Stop always pointing the finger. Stop always looking at everybody else and then kind of not looking at yourself. And then through the ages, since Jesus, sort of like, before you start judging somebody else, look in the mirror and look in front of that person, who of course is you, and take a little introspection to see that maybe you might not be doing everything right. We've heard it, but do we practice it? Think about it. Have any of you had teachers? Think back, the teachers that you've had. The real negative ones that basically tell you you can't do anything right. Or the ones that mark up your papers with the red and don't even give you an opportunity to make it right. I had an English teacher like that. Does that encourage you to do better, really? I don't think so. And especially parents. In a lot of cultures, parents are taught through the ages. It goes back to grandma and grandpa, the great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents. If you want a child to do things right, just keep on telling them how they're doing everything wrong. And then, of course, then they'll get it because you keep on telling them they're doing it all wrong. I know that a lot of people who struggle with weight have been told, you're fat. Is that going to make somebody thin? No. Or someone has a problem with anorexia. You're just way too thin. Is that going to make them start eating? No. Not really. Now there's a way to correct and an incorrect way to correct without being judgmental. For example, say that you have a 6-year-old kid in your house, or you could be a grandparent or an auntie, and let's just say that when they pick things up at the floor, things just kind of slide off and go onto the floor. Rather than telling them that they're a slob, which I got in my family, you could say, I see you're having difficulty. Let me show you how to do it. Totally different. It's not that you're saying, oh, good job. That phony good job thing that a lot of teachers did for a while. Oh, good job. No, it really sucked. It was really bad. Oh, good job. No, that's not being honest. It's when you correct somebody, you demonstrate how it should be. I had a problem when I was younger with being a little tardy. When my mom and I had to go someplace, I don't know what it was. I just couldn't seem to get my act together. I was told, you're lazy. You think that helped me to speed up? No. I didn't speed up until I had a job where I had to get there or I'd get fired. That really encouraged me to get my act together. I have a very good friend, and a lot of you know about her because her 2 kitties were in the office, and they're going to be in there again for about 3 days. After morning, I will put a big sign, kitties, Her name is Nancy. And she used to teach English. And then she retired, and then she discovered that, gee, the state teacher's retirement system isn't really enough, and you only have 21 years in the system. So she went into this consulting business that helps people that are not getting along with each other. So she would be sent to a company where there was, you might say, some disagreements. And usually they're all based on people pointing the finger and telling people that you're a no-good slob and you'll never make anything out of yourself. You know, I don't even know why they hired you in the first place. Not very helpful. This one company that she was sent to was a real challenge. The problem was the top boss. This is a company that was started by this fellow's father, who had been the top boss. And then the company went on the New York Stock Exchange. So they didn't really own it. They had a lot of stock in the company, but they didn't actually own it. But he was the boss. And he would humiliate all the people that worked under him. He would just name call. Can't you ever get here on time? Your work is sloppy. What are you doing? You can't do anything right. Wow, what school did you go to? You know, he'd even call people stupid. Now, calling somebody stupid, is that going to make them smart? No. Not really. So, my friend Nancy's job was a real challenging one. It was actually the board of directors that hired her to come in there, because they couldn't exactly get rid of this boss guy. He was a little kind of, one of these little delicate situations, but all of these people were quitting. And it was at a time when the economy was halfway decent. And people didn't need to take that anymore, so they just got out of there. And they lost a lot of really major talent of employees because of the way he was treating them. So Nancy's job was to sit this guy down, let him know why she was being hired. He had no control over it, because it was the board of directors, and explain to him that if he had been noticing a lot of people are quitting. Did you notice that? Well, they're all a bunch of incompetent, you know. A lot of people are leaving because of what you were saying to them. And then she quoted some of the lovely words of encouragement that he would use to these employees who said, you know, you can take this job and I think almost all of us have experienced somebody in our lives that were that way. Really negative. Rather than helping you do a better job of something, they just name call. So her delicate job was to sit him down and explain to him what it was he was saying and why people were quitting, and to try to teach him a better way. Now this took months and months and months, and it went into, I think she was at this company for about a year and a half, working with this one guy. But he was like the top, you know, person, so that took a lot of work. To teach him how to do it a better way. Not to call him names, and not to tell him that he was a total jerk, he was out of line, which he actually was. But to teach him a better way. And it all came down to, this is the way he was brought up. This is the way his parents did things. This is the way his grandparents did things. And he actually started seeing, by calling people these names, how insulting it was, and that they really didn't want to take it anymore, and they had a right to leave. He got to that point, but then they get to the point of, well, then now what do I do? What if they're habitually late? What if they don't turn their reports in on time? She had to show him what he could say, what he could do to motivate his employees to do a better job. And it was really like a relearning process. That is exactly what Jesus did. He would sit people down, rather than what we hear when he brings people to the table? I want to show you a better way. Didn't force them. Didn't kick them in the rear and say, oh, you're terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. No one like you even has a right to live. Never did that. And some of these people were really pretty awful. He showed them a better way. What I'd like everyone to do this next week is to really start thinking about what they're saying to other people. And it's usually people that are close to you, live in the same house, or in the same family. This constant harping on how they're doing things wrong. It doesn't help improve outcome, whether it's behavior or attitude or whatever. Telling people that they're disorganized doesn't make them organized. I can guarantee you that. I know as a disorganized expert that that doesn't help. You know, you have to start working yourself on being more organized. Telling a person that they can't do anything right doesn't make their incompetency improve. Jesus really is our model. He truly is. If we can look to see what was it that he did that was so effective, and then imitate it, and even he said that he was telling people that they could do even more than he could do. You know, when he was at his last words to his disciples, he expected them to go out and heal. He expected them to go out and proclaim the good word. He had high expectations, but it certainly wasn't based on beating them up and telling them that they did everything wrong. And why can't they do things right? Think about it. When you're relating to people, especially people you know well, are you condemning them and going, late as usual? Or are you maybe making suggestions of how they could get on time? What is it that they need? Is there anything you can do to help them? It's not that you're denying the reality of what they did was not right, but you're not condemning them. You're not judging them and saying, you're always late. Or you're always disorganized. You never have anything in order. They won't be orderly. You have to help them. And if you have a better suggestion of how to be orderly, or on time, or to get certain things done,